Ladies and gentlemen, on the mic with Mike King Biz here. We're at Lewis Ginter Botanical Gardens. You got my man Brian Trader. Brian, I would say welcome to the program, but this is your house. Tell folks who you are and what you do.
Absolutely, Mike. Thanks for being here. My name is Brian Trader. I'm the president and CEO of Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden. Thrilled that you're here today. We are one of the nation's best gardens right here in Richmond, Virginia.
And I had said to you, this is sort of a hidden gem that people have, because people don't realize what they have here. Since we walked around, you see kids, families, diverse groups, everyone coming out to the park.
Absolutely. Well, nature is for everyone, and as human beings, we're part of nature. And so at Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden, we believe that everyone deserves access to nature. Everyone deserves to enjoy the beauty of gardening. And so we do our best to have programs and opportunities in the garden that meets everyone, from the youngest to those who are most mature in years.
What we had talked about earlier is that, and I had said, changing the world ain't cheap, easy, or free. Money has got to change hands. I talk about your staff, and you have a great staff. We also talk about the volunteers.
Absolutely.
Volunteers sort of keep the place moving.
That's true, Mike. We have over 500 volunteers that help us on an annual basis. Volunteers are in every facet of the organization. They're helping in the gardens, they're helping in our library, they're helping in our guest services, welcoming our guests. And so they're the lifeblood of our organization. As you mentioned, we have a great staff, but our volunteers are a key part of that team.
And we had talked about staff and diversity and all the things. I was shocked with the number of minorities, realistically, who were out here, and you had said, this is for everyone. And you guys go above and beyond to make that a reality.
Absolutely. Well, what we've looked at are what are some of the barriers for people to come and enjoy the garden. And of course, we have an admission, and so we've tried to make sure that we have a admission fee that is accessible to those that may not have financial security. So we have our Museums for All program, and that allows guests to come for $1, or they can be a member of the garden for 5 years, a member of the garden for $5 for the whole year. We've also looked at how people get to the garden and the accessibility of the garden, and so we're looking at how we can have public transportation, how our guests are accessing the garden by bicycle. But most importantly, it's important that our community sees themselves in the garden. And so that's in our staffing, it's in our volunteers, it's in our board, and it's also in our programs. And so we've done a lot of work over the last couple years to ensure that our programs and our events are meeting the needs of the diverse community we serve.
You guys are doing a lot for the community. What are some of the things that your organization needs as a nonprofit?
Oh my gosh, well, we need volunteers. We need advocates in the community like you, sharing about our impact and our reach. We have over 8,000 school-age kids that come to the garden every single year for formal learning in nature and in gardening and in the natural world. We have over 500,000 visitors that are coming to the garden each year. We're one of the most visited cultural sites in all of Central Virginia. But our reach and our impact is much beyond that. And so we feel it's really important to get that next generation out in nature so that they feel comfortable in nature and that they feel a sense of belonging in nature. If we don't have them understanding the value of worms and snakes and turtles and fish, how are we going to expect them to take care of that as they're in the next generation?
Mike King, Brian Trader here at Lewis Ginter. We talked earlier about there is something here for everyone as a career. There's a whole bunch of things. It's
Absolutely.
Not just plants and flowers and things like that. Talk a little bit about that, those opportunities.
Well, we've just hired a work-based learning coordinator, and a lot of people think about the garden, they think about the plants, they think about the horticulture and taking care of those. But as we discussed earlier, we're like a small city. We have our own marketing department. We have interns that help us with our social media and with our photography. We have facility and events. We have concerts here in the garden throughout the summer, and every Thursday night we have live music here in the garden, and so facility event rentals. We have weddings here. We have a library. We have educators, and so we have a lot of opportunity for people to learn and to explore careers for cultural nonprofits. And so we feel that it's our responsibility to showcase some of those careers and lifetime opportunities for those upcoming and trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives. We have a great partnership with VCU and their ROTC program. We work with several of the local colleges and universities here, like Reynolds Community College, for instance. So we have internships, we have job shadowing, we have teen volunteering. There's a lot of opportunity for young people or young professionals to explore what they want to do with their lives.
How can people get information? Okay, so you had concerts out here. You just had one last night.
Yeah, we did. We had Ben Folds last night. We had over 2,000 people come and enjoy that concert. It was a beautiful evening in the garden. The weather couldn't have been more perfect, and it was a sold-out show.
There's something for the. There are people you had said who you walk by a lady who's here every day.
Yes.
There's something here for you. You've got the kids running around, the splash pad, the tree house. There's something here that, like you had said, if a parent can't afford summer camp,
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah, we have, this year we offered 45 scholarships for our summer camps. And so those individuals are participating in our summer camp for free. It's an outstanding opportunity. And even if they don't want to do a formalized summer camp, there's a lot of nature play that's informal here where we have hula hoops and chalk and, like you said, the splash pad. And we're thinking about the future too. Our garden hasn't expanded in almost 20 years. And so just a few months ago, we broke ground on a new garden expansion. We're going to bring on 7 new acres of gardens for the community. We're going to add to our conservatory, double the size of our conservatory so that our community members can experience the 4 different climates, the desert, the tropical rainforest, Mediterranean style climate. And so that opening will be in 2 years in 2026, where we'll open up that for the community. So we need resources. We need funding for that expansion.
So you had also said you have the ability to know where, not every flower, what's where. Okay, explain that, sir. That's something.
Yeah, well, you met Laurel Hill a little bit earlier. She's our director and curator of plants, and she's also our GIS manager. And so basically what we do is we map out where different plants are in the garden and, using geospatial technology. And so we're using a lot of technology in the garden to help us as we're managing our collections, as we're growing our collections, as we're taking care of the plants here. And so we can say, this maple is located in this garden in this spot. It was planted at this date. It had lightning damage last year, and we need to prune it, or it flowered at this time in the year. So there's a lot of different opportunities there for us to use data and technology to map and take care of our collections.
It's always a pleasure in the rock with man. We got to give a shout out to our man Will Melton.
Yes.
The Richmond Water guy out there.
Hey, friend. Hey, Will.
He's always making some
Get
great
some Richmond
things
water.
Get some Richmond water. Okay, so how can people get information about Ginter?
Absolutely. So our website, www.lewisginter.org, we put everything there. We encourage everyone to follow us on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're on all the channels, and come out and enjoy your garden. This garden is for you. We do what we do for you. Our mission is to connect people to plants by inspiring communities to explore and enjoy and conserve nature. So please come on out, support the garden, and take advantage of it.
Here you go. On the mic is Mike. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, now take care.